from Garuda, Utah.
Welcome to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. I am your host, Caleb.
And I'm your other host, Joe.
And where are you in 14?
Where am I in 14?
Yeah.
Trying to catch up to you, but honestly, it was Thanksgiving week this week, which is something I totally forgot about on getting fat, by the way. What the fuck is that?
It's King of the Hill drop. God dang it, Bobby.
Oh, okay.
It's me getting mad at you for being behind.
I couldn't hear it. It was too loud. I couldn't hear it. It was too loud.
So what was the last thing you did?
I rescued everybody from the thingy.
Oh, okay. So you rescued
I rescued Meteo, yeah.
And company.
Yeah, that was the last quest I did.
Yeah, and then you got the level 46 to 49 jump in main story quests.
Still got one more level to grind through.
A whole level, or are you getting any close to it, or what?
A whole level.
Oh. Damn. That's unfortunate.
Where are you?
I am
Traitor.
12 missions into the second part of the game.
The second part of the game, so did you beat the first part of the game?
Yeah, I did. I beat 2.0.
So, should we just do a review episode after that, or what? Should we just keep going?
I think we should just keep going.
Okay. We're going to go all the way to the 2.55 or whatever it is?
Yeah, I think we should go to the end of 2.0.
Fine.
Or 2. Whatever.
Fine.
Up to Heaven's Word.
Take even longer.
Yeah. Well, you gotta play it to,
You're acting like I'm not playing it. Have you seen my playtime?
I've seen it compared to mine.
I don't care about compared to yours.
Well, I care about
compared to the rest of the series.
I care about maybe finishing the game sometime around when we said we would, and not just whenever.
Okay, I had this conversation with, I believe, Baindrum last time. I'm going to take my headphones off real quick. I had this conversation with Baindrum on the PlayStation chat, right? And he was talking about how long it was going to take us to do the game, and my general rule for the time that we set out to beat the games is like, if you can beat a 24 to 30 hour Final Fantasy game in a month, that's about right. That's about my stress level amount that I can deal with playing that much video game in a month. I can do about 30 hours of video game in 30 days.
Okay.
I think that's fair. Okay? Now, how many days of playtime do we have in our Final Fantasy XIV now? Is it 4 days worth of playtime?
It is for me,
2 months?
But it's not for you. I think you're at 3 days something.
I'm almost at 4 days, if not there already.
Well, you also had 16 to 17 hours of that before you transferred it.
I had 16 hours, you're right. You're right. It's still too much time. It's much more time spent on that game than the other games in the series so far within the allotted time. So, I don't actually feel like I'm that far behind based upon previous playtime.
How long was your 13 file when you finally stopped?
Shit, I don't remember. You'd have to look at the episode.
Okay.
Yeah, much less than yours.
Because right now, if you had 16 hours before you transferred it over, and you're almost at 4 days, that means you're at about 3 days, maybe 6 to 8 hours, which is 70. What is that? 78 hours.
That's more than my 13 time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guarantee. I think I had 80 hours in FF10. And that was when I wasn't going to school.
80 hours?
Yeah, something like that. Because I tried to do a bunch of extra stuff in FF10.
Oh yeah, you did the whole, did you do the entire fetch quest thing, where you go capture the monsters?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Then that would take forever, yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably around 80.
That's just the way it is, man. All right? So, to our audience at home, I'm gonna apologize here now. It's probably gonna take. It's gonna probably be mid-December, not the beginning of December, when we're done with FF14. All that means is that you guys have more time to come play with us.
Yeah.
On 14, and then Caleb can bitch about how I never play the game.
Yeah, and then you'll notice
have shitloads of time.
You'll notice how he's never online, and you remember how we were gonna do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights at 14. I've noticed you're not there on Tuesday. What's up with that?
Other things.
Oh, other things.
Yeah.
I seem to remember a time where I talked about playing other stuff, like playing 14 while playing other games, and I don't know, some phrase was uttered to the likes of, as long as it doesn't interfere with what we're doing now, you can go ahead and do that. Something along those lines.
Like if you had to record Super Sexy. If you had to record Super Sexy on Tuesday night, I could live with it. If you just had to.
Super Sexy only takes like half an hour.
It's true, it doesn't take an hour and a half now, does it?
No, it doesn't.
2 hours. Okay. Plus, then I get off late on Tuesday. That's why Tuesday is the day, because I would normally just get off late and I'd only be on there for an hour and a half anyway. So. Right.
Well, what you need to do is you have to at least get through the 2.0 storyline, and then by Monday or so, because there's 8-man dungeons that it's going to be tougher. I don't know. We're going to need everyone online for you to beat those if you want to watch the cutscenes. So we...
I'll watch them anyway. I don't need someone bullying me past it.
Well, it's not that you're bullied past it. You just don't get to participate in the fight if you get locked out. Yeah, I guess you are a white mage.
I just don't care that much.
It's not like you're participating in the fight.
Well, here's the thing. If they don't need a white mage, then they don't need a white mage. That's what I say.
All right, fair enough. So Fuck it.
I'm going to watch my cutscenes. I'm going to enjoy them. Speaking of cutscenes, today we are going to be talking about the Final Fantasy XIV 1.0 storyline.
Yes, we are.
The seventh Umbral Era, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah, the stuff right before the events of A Realm Reborn.
But before we get to that, I just want to remind you guys that you can watch all of our arguing with each other and backbiting and bitching. You can go to youtube.com/Ultima Final Fantasy. You can follow Caleb mostly, but the show on Twitter @UFF Podcast. You can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Ultima Final Fantasy. Support us on Patreon. $1 a month gets you the episodes early. And we really appreciate our Patreon donors. Some other ways you can support us. We do have an Amazon link on our website right now, ultimafinalfantasy.com. So when you're doing your Christmas shopping and you feel like supporting the show, click through the Amazon link and then buy your stuff. And that way we get a very small but appreciative kickback from that.
Right. It's pretty awesome.
You can also go to twitch.tv/Ultima Final Fantasy. See our episodes live and see Caleb beat Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn.
Months ahead
of Joe. That's such bullshit. 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
And be sure to go to our website, ultimafinalfantasy.com. Join our forums. It's bustling with excitement. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun. We've got a sweet little leveling system involved with posting and doing certain side quests on the forum, so it's a lot of fun.
And it's going to be expanded more later on in December.
Right.
Once I get out of school.
When we get a little more time, yeah.
All right, so shall we move on to news?
Yeah, let's do it.
You sure?
I'm sure.
All right, so we really only have 2 items of news this week. The first thing is that there's been quite a few new characters in Dissidia announced. Some of these we might have already said, but Shantoto and Vaughn, Lightning, Y'shtola, and Ramza.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
From Dissidia. So stay tuned on that. Who knows if we'll ever get that here in North America.
Yeah, it's still too soon to know.
And our other piece of news here, we got a few people posting this. Final Fantasy XV demo. A new one is in the works.
Another one?
Yeah, like we didn't get demo enough.
Wow.
I gotta ask you though, if a new game comes out where this demo is available for, so let's say Final Fantasy World comes out and it has a different Final Fantasy 15 demo, are we gonna buy Final Fantasy World so that we can play the 15 demo?
I probably would, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna have to buy it anyway, so we might as well. We might as well spend the extra cash up front and buy it brand new, and get the awesome edition that I'm sure they'll have. And yeah, is it gonna be Worlds or have they not said?
It hasn't said.
Oh,
this
okay.
is basically, they're just working on a new demo, and that's all the information we got.
Oh, well, that's fancy. That's great that they're working on a demo, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they should just give us a demo when the time comes.
Yeah, they should.
Instead of telling us that there's gonna be a demo.
I wonder. I think we might hit kind of a doldrum with the news.
Yeah, you think so?
Because Final Fantasy 15 is going to be late 2016. It looks like it's expected for holiday 2016.
Yeah.
So, what do we got until then? I mean, really, we got Final Fantasy Worlds, and then in Japan they have Dissidia.
Yeah, that's kind of it. I mean,
Explorers will come here.
We might get more updates on the 7 remake.
Yeah,
that's something that's possible, but that's not going to be.
Slower year than last year, it looks like.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on last year.
Or this year, I mean.
Or, yeah, this last year. The last 12 months of time has had much more news. There was a lot of stuff with 14, though, too. There was all sorts of weird stuff, like the housing crisis thing, where there wasn't enough housing districts for people in the game, and just all the updates they've had. And now it's kind of caught up to that. Plus, we don't really go too much into 14. That's another show's job, so...
It's a couple other shows' job.
One just kind of rips the other one off, but whatever. That's okay.
All right, well, thank you to Krinatal and Shinru and everybody else who gave us news this week. Not much this week, though, I gotta say.
Yeah, that's kind of disappointing.
I'm not gonna go through every single trailer of every single guy in Dissidia. Sorry.
I don't want to either. I don't know. We might not even get the damn thing. Why watch all the trailers and be like, oh, that looks fun, just for it to be taken away from us before we even met it.
All right, Caleb, shall we talk about the second half of 1.0?
Yeah, let's talk about that. All right, see what we got.
Okay. By the way, the sound. Sorry, guys, this is gonna be annoying. Woo! Okay, we're good. Sorry. Hey, aw crap. Andrew and Connor.
Did we spend like 500 euros on equipment to get 5 viewers? Now we got a lot more viewers than that. It's not on Twitch.
Yeah, it's not a Twitch show. It's a podcast.
Yeah.
We just do it live on Twitch for anybody who wants to join.
Yep. So fuck off.
And this isn't $500 worth of equipment. It's more like $400.
Yeah. 25.
Well, if you include the computer, I guess it is.
Well, if you include the computer, it's a fuckload more than that. It's like
then 3, the monthly payment of Adobe Audition.
Yeah. Maybe he's got a point.
Account. Yeah, we got way more listeners than whoever gets on here. It's funny with podcasts. They're probably the least interactive audience. I mean, except for the people that get on Twitch who are just part of that small group of like our really active audience. They're just the least interactive audience because when you're listening to podcasts, you're usually at work or you're driving or you're doing other stuff, and the podcast is there to just occupy your mind, right?
Yeah.
And so you wouldn't, if people are telling you to get on their website, I mean, unless you're listening to it on the computer,
you wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't automatically just go on there. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, suck it up. Yes, Granth, we know.
Yes, thank you.
Always.
All right. Okay, I need to get my phone out, get some notes. Sorry. Timo hasn't responded to I have a big screen.
Probably doesn't care.
I guess not.
I'm not going over to Timo's, though.
No, there's no air conditioning there.
Well, it's winter.
Well, his roommate is really weird.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Super exciting.
I know. Sorry.
Why didn't you just take notes? Or are you just going to read through it?
Well, you took notes first off. I was,
I've got 6 lines.
Well, there's the one page that has all the shit that's going on, and it's just a good reminder. But it looks like the site's not loading. Just pissing me off. If you're listening to this on YouTube, skip ahead a couple minutes.
Yep.
Sorry. What the hell? Fuck.
With the white mage thing, yeah, I did mention it to him, but I don't know. He says he's doing the white mage, so maybe it's just showing up as conjurer for some reason. But when we look at your character,
it says fucking white mage on my character, and like when you switch through your different stuff.
Through what stuff?
Like you got your character, and it has all of his like traits and shit.
Does it say WHM on the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know why it's saying conjurer for him then. I mean, it'll still... My thaumaturge level is still 53. Like, it still counts that as...
Maybe I was...
level. I don't know.
Maybe I was level synced or some shit. I don't know. Would that do it? Probably not.
I don't know. Roxo's the one that noticed.
Okay. Wow, they changed this. Oh, okay, there we go. Like, where's the pictures? Pictures help me more than the words do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our little sisters say the same thing.
Is that an insult to me or your sisters?
I don't know. If you're okay with being on par with my sisters for reading ability, I just have to take that as you will.
Okay. Okay, there's actually not that much here.
I know. We just saw it.
Okay, so his name is Nail Van Darnus.
Yeah.
Which sounds like darn it. Which is funny to me.
Yeah?
Yeah. Darnus. Okay. Whose demise he wanted. Okay. Might just be easier to just read this. Not that we would just read this, but like we'd read it and then talk about it.
You want to do that?
I don't know.
I don't care.
It's your episode.
I just wanted to watch the cutscenes and talk about it.
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Well, then let's just do that.
Alright, so we finished up last time with the, the stuff happening, and now some more stuff is going to happen.
Defeating the Garleans. Or what's his name?
Yes.
The primal. Whatever.
Yeah, defeating the primal. And
Something happened.
And then we jump into this stuff, which essentially it starts out kind of similar. I don't know, your character, which always is going to be an almost naked chick when we're rewatching these
yeah, what's up with that?
Scenes. I don't know. I guess that's what they want.
Something weird. Something weird going on in the minds of
the 14 players.
Of the 14 players, yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just something we're going to have to deal with.
Okay.
There's a lot of it.
So it says on the wiki, which has a good write-up on what we just watched for an hour and a half, the adventurer encounters another Imperial legatus. Did I say that right? Named Neil Van Darnus, who's basically the new bad guy of the second half of 1.0.
Right.
So this is the Umbral era stuff, and who sees the invasion to be for the greater good. However, as the adventurer faces against the primals themselves, whose demise he wanted, Nail's plan is revealed to exceed the intent of the Garlean Empire by Nail's desire to purge Eorzia of its impurities with Dalamud.
Or Meteo, as we know it.
Mm-hmm. Though Gaius helps the adventurer to stop the insane general, Nail becomes infused with Dalamud's power and resolves to plunge the world into the 7th Umbral era. Does this sound like 2.0 to you?
It sounds like the beginning of 2.0.
Okay. Not long after the companies are able to track down Nail Van Darnus' location, the Legatus is seen wandering near the Alagan ruins in Camp Glory. An attack group is quickly assembled and sent to the region, only to find a patch of floating islands emanating a light similar to the one previously seen on Castrum Novum, the Riven Road. From the Riven Road, Nail oversees fiery rocks raining down on Dalamud.
Right, so essentially it's Meteo
Mm-hmm.
casting Comet on the world.
So
there's all these little rocks flying out. He's using it as this just uber destruction tool. And he, I don't know, becomes infused with the power from Dalamud and uses it to become insanely tall. It's like a weird God of War opening Pandora's box thing where he becomes crazy large and super OP, and you fight him and you win. And after that, the crystal forsakes him, and he falls down and disappears, which is a weird thing that apparently the elementals will do, as we saw earlier when the elementals got super mad at the Empire because they were attacking the area around Gridania, the forest. They were just tearing shit apart, and the elementals come out, and they look like tiny little Tara Bradfords, little pink naked Tara. Yeah, and they essentially they don't care what's what. They don't care whose side you're on, kind of a thing. When they get released, they just want to destroy because they've been harmed. And they're flying around just like unmaking these village people. Like, they're hitting them with this thing that just turns them into dust. They just die and are no more. There's no remains. There's no nothing. So that's pretty intense. And then, of course, during this 1 point blah blah blah, whatever the fuck it is, you end up fighting Garuda, and I don't know, the Garuda fight in 1.0 is almost the same, if not the same as it is in 2.0.
The music is the same.
The cutscenes, anyway. Yeah, the music.
The cutscene direction is very similar. I think the environment is different.
Yeah, it looks a little different, and there's not.
Speaking of, that Garuda fight in 2.0 is sick.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best fight so far, I think.
You think so?
I do. I mean, I missed a few of them at the end of 2.0, so I don't fucking know because those people wouldn't wait for me. But whatever, we'll figure it out.
We kind of brushed over that in the beginning. What happened there?
Oh, I was I was going through the last story mission in 2.0, 2 point whatever, and I told the guys, I was like, hey, I'm watching. I know they're like, are we watching cutscenes at the beginning? And I was like, yeah, I'm watching the cutscenes. And so I'm going through, watching the cutscene, and then all of a sudden, across the bottom of my screen, it's like, oh, this and this will close in 15 seconds. The dungeon that they went into. And so I'm like, all right, geez, I'll watch this. And then I got locked out of a dungeon, and I'm getting like super pissed because I'm like, dude, I want to be part of this thing. And they didn't care because I'm a DPS, and there's 3 other DPS, and they'll make it, kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And they did, and then I went to another area, and it went back-to-back cutscenes where I missed out on yet another dungeon. And then partway through the third cutscene, I just started like getting really pissed off, and I'm like, hey, fuck this. I skipped the cutscene, and I'm trying to run down the hallway to get to the next fight, and it locks me out before I get there, because it's this massive hallway of just endless proportions, and I'm just standing there watching him beat this boss down. And then, yeah, that's basically what happened. And then I could just watch the cutscene, get into the fight, watch the cutscene, get into the fight, skip some cutscenes, and I did end up fighting Ultima
See, that sounds
Weapon,
like a dream to me. I don't know, yeah, just like not doing anything, just watching the cutscenes.
You lazy fuck. It's not a dream for me. I wanna fight it.
I know you do.
But so yeah, I'm gonna have to redo that fight just because I want to actually partake of the fight. So
okay.
So yeah. Anyway, the Garuda fight's awesome in both 1.0 and 2.0, and really similar direction. And obviously, Ultima Weapon doesn't pop out and consume Garuda in this version, but she does get pwned.
Yeah, well, last in 2.0, it's not Vandarnus who's the kind of the driving force behind all the stuff.
It's Gaius.
It's Gaius still.
Right.
Because Gaius kind of takes a back seat in this part of 1.0. And that's interesting to kind of see, like, why, they just decided to simplify it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, he just stepped up when his...
I think they made the right decision in 2.0 to do that, because otherwise it's like the bad guy switcheroo.
Right.
Well,
and instead of the switcheroo, it's a continuation where Nael is the first midpoint boss, and then Gaius is the end boss kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So he's gonna bring down Meteor, right?
Right.
And so some stuff happens, and the party finds him on some floating rocks.
Mm-hmm. Floating continent, recurring thing.
Ready to bring down Meteor, and you go up there and you stop him.
Yep, you stop him, and I don't know. It's a pretty cool looking fight. That he's got some crazy armor on.
Yeah, there's definitely some cool cutscenes here. It was interesting that there was no voice acting.
Yeah, not any.
In the Seventh Umbral era stuff. So I'm wondering, and I don't actually know this. I'm sure someone does. I think maybe the Seventh Umbral era was an add-on after the fact.
You think so?
So what we watched last time was probably like what came out with the game, and then they added this part to it.
Well, there's a good chance of that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of did have that feel, especially near the end, where after you fight him, you kept doing stuff, and kind of paved the way for A Realm Reborn, where the ending cutscene in 1.0 or 1 point whatever is the beginning cutscene in A Realm Reborn, where the meteor comes down and Bahamut comes out of it and just wrecks face, and of course that's an amazing cutscene. It's awesome, and it's got a really good theme song. I'd like to comment on that. I think they finally got it right. I mean,
they finally got a good theme song?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
The 1 in 10 is whatever, but this one is both solid as a musical piece and it's relevant to the game. So
okay, all right.
I don't know why I don't know why they didn't have it before. I don't know. I guess the 1 in 7 is good though. The Sephiroth one. I mean, it's whatever. I guess it's kind of no. That's not the theme song. That's not the same thing. It's just a vocalized track. So yeah, I think they did it right with that, and I don't know. I still think 1.0's cutscenes look pretty solid.
They do. I think they might look cutscenes in general. And we talked about this last week. So
yeah, it's all the same looking.
This Seventh Umbral stuff was especially good. The flames around, what's his name, Darius or whatever.
Nael.
Yeah, Nael.
Yeah, that was an awesome scene where he's walking into the blue flame.
Mm-hmm.
That was insane looking.
So that stuff was pretty cool. So we are glossing over some things. They do get their group together to take on the Empire also.
Right, yeah, the Three Kingdoms finally they unite again, which they do in 2.0 as well. Mm-hmm. And they combine forces, and that's what kind of leads to the very end scene where Meteor cracks open and a ton of people get rocked.
Yeah, another thing though, they you do defeat the one guy, Nael, but still Meteor's gonna come down anyway.
Yeah.
And so the old shaman guy, Louisoix.
Yeah, Louisoix.
He he's trying to find ways to perhaps stop it.
Right, he's casting some huge protect spell and trying to keep everybody alive, and then eventually he gets overcome and his staff gets shattered, and he kind of teleports the party, so to speak, out of the area, and then everyone dies.
I think Now, this wasn't explained in the scene, but I do believe that what our characters are supposed to be what they were in 1.0.
Yeah, they are.
So, like, we were sealed away by him and brought out later after the world was destroyed.
Or we were like teleported elsewhere, kind of a thing. But yeah, it's supposed to be the same person.
Yeah.
So that was us getting saved because we had I don't know, special powers that were touched by the shining or
I
whatever.
think it was Louis Swan. I think he was saved the day.
Yeah, the old guy.
The true hero.
Yeah, the
You
French.
said he looked like a guy in 12, and I think you're right. He does.
Yeah, he looks like the one of the elder dudes, the guy that gets killed.
Mm-hmm. He does.
It's really, really close.
And Sid in 1.0 especially looks like Bosch.
Yeah, without the goatee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like pre-dungeon crawling Bosch.
So let me ask you, so we have now watched all the cutscenes of 1.0.
Hmm.
How does it compare to the other Final Fantasies? I mean, we're going to talk about 2.0 here soon, but like just story-wise or cutscene-wise, what similarities does it have to other Final Fantasy games, or what's missing? Possibly.
Well, I don't know. It's just really watered down, I think, compared to a lot of the main story or the main series games, the non-MMOs.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more story going on. There's a lot more side stuff. And this is only coming from us watching the bare bones version of the cutscenes. Like, the actual cutscenes you can go back and rewatch in the inn or the theater or whatever the hell it is in 14.
That's true. We might be missing some, like, hey, do this side mission or whatever.
Yeah, this is why I'm this way kind of a thing. But it doesn't seem... I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of side character development or even main character development as far as everyone that's not you. It's just kind of, here's their personalities, here's them doing what they do, go do this kind of a thing. And it's, I don't know, it seems strange coming from a series where there's so much personality inside people and people that are a main driving force that aren't you. Like in 10, you've got, Auron's backstory, you've got even Riku's backstory, there's Lulu, all these people that have things that make them the way they are that are explained, and in 1.0's storyline they're just kind of there, and that's just, you have to take it at face value. And I don't know, it's not as engaging.
It reminds me of FF11.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Where there's just so many characters, and although they may have a distinct personality,
right, like Naji,
it gets bogged down because of everybody else.
Right, and there are so many people, and I don't know.
And of course, that just might be the curse of MMO. I mean, video games in general have problem keeping stories because you have to do things in between the story.
Yeah.
Right, and so there's a story forgetfulness almost as you go along with the game. But MMOs, it's an even looser atmosphere, and there's less things that are necessarily driving the story. So maybe they didn't care as much during the development of it.
I don't know. There's a good chance of that. I mean, as long as it's a fun game, it'll do well as an MMO.
Yeah.
As long as there's good dungeons and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Any other MMO I've played, the story can be cool, but it's just, it's almost like 12 for me, where there's this huge possible story. There's all these things going on, and it just kind of skims the top of it. And that's all you get. You get like the little cheese grater thing, and you just get the top little bit, top layer, and this giant block of cheese. You just get the tiny
That's
little
true.
sliver.
Yeah, that is a little problem with 12, I'd say.
Maybe that's...
And that's probably based upon its FF11. It's trying to emulate FF11 almost in a single-player way with FF12.
Right, and I don't know. It's not that it's bad. It's just that it's not as engaging. It's just not as good.
Yeah, and it might have something to do with like the pacing of the game, where we just watched all the cutscenes in a row, so maybe it wasn't as engaging because we're just going through it like you're not supposed to.
Right. Well, how do you feel with the story in 2.0?
Instead of it being like a little reward for doing something.
Right. We can kind of compare it to what we've done thus far in 2.0. Do you feel like, I don't know, do you feel like it's engaging thus far for you? I mean, we don't have to go over the story or anything like that, but like, do you feel the same way about what you've played thus far as you do what we just watched, kind of a thing.
I think 2.0 expands on characters a little better. I think voice acting certainly adds a lot to it, and I have another thing about text that I want to get into. I do think 2.0's story is more engaging so far, but at the same time, I don't think 2.0's story is super engaging.
Yeah, not yet. It gets, I don't know, there's points where it really picks up.
That's true. When all your party members die,
yeah,
and when you have to go save them, that's been something where I actually cared a little bit when I was going through.
Yeah, it was really solid, but so I don't know. Maybe it is the same way in 1.0, and we just didn't get that because we only watched the cutscenes.
There are two things I want to talk about, though.
Okay, what are those?
The first thing being that with MMOs especially, you cannot have a main character that has a distinct personality or that has character traits.
Right, it's supposed to be yourself.
It's supposed to be yourself, and we might have talked about this on the show before. I know we've talked about it outside of the show before. Someone said this once, and I can't remember who. They were talking about how the reason why video games can't really have a good story is because they try to have the main character be you, and thus you have to project the character traits onto the character. And so it's just a bland character that you're watching. But that's not a natural thing that you want to do with storytelling.
Right, yeah, you don't want that.
So your character's feelings on the screen as a blank slate, that's just a blank slate that you're watching. In other words, if a character has characteristics or character traits or has a fully fleshed out character, you'll have more in common with that than Link.
Yeah.
Who is nothing.
Right, Link is you.
Right.
Well, and
so thus, if Yuna is dying or something, or let's say if Aerith dies, and Cloud, although he is kind of two-dimensional, and Cloud feels something for Aerith, you're going to feel more about that situation than you would be if there was no character and then your girlfriend dies.
Right. Yeah, and I mean the thing is they've done it well before with especially with 10. With Titus, where he's new to the world, but he still has a character.
Well, we're talking about a whole series that
does it all the time.
Usually has a main character with a distinct or somewhat distinct personality.
Yeah, I mean there's a few one-offs, like one.
Yeah, there are one-offs.
One-off.
And we're talking about one here
right,
especially.
Yeah, with 14.
With
11.
14. So really the drama that comes through 14 is going to come from side characters and their relationships with each other.
Right, and that's what I enjoy. I enjoy.
And 2.0 does that better than 1.0.
Papolino and Ida, they're a lot of fun. They have nothing. They're not fun because of me by any means. I'm just a bystander in what they, them bagging on each other. And that's, I don't know. With 1.0, there's some of that in the cutscenes we watch. There's some banter and stuff along those lines, but not. There wasn't that much really, and it wasn't super engaging. And maybe that is why. Maybe it's the curse at the MMO because they have to make it your character because that's what's expected.
Right.
I mean, 11 did it. Every MMO pretty much does it. So I don't know. What was the other point you had?
The other point I was going to bring up, I'm going to bring up right now.
Oh wow!
It's about text amount in a game. Now, we just watched, between last week and this week, have watched about 3.5 hours worth of 1.0 cutscenes. Now, only a couple of them were voice acted, and during those voice acting moments, we were more engaged in watching the thing, I would guess.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I was in that situation. You
I
agree.
prefer to not read, especially with these people who are watching.
It's not necessarily about not reading, because we were willing to read 1 through 9.
Yeah.
For the most part. 9 got a little texty. I would say there's lots of text.
True, there's a lot of side events.
And I think that may be the problem with 11 and 14. Especially 1.0.
That we're kind of devolving back into pure text box.
Is that not only is there text, And not only are you less engaged in the world simply because of the way that you were put into the world.
Right, the storytelling
But
methods.
there is also way more text than there needs to be.
Yeah, I would agree.
Think about this. I bet we could find the game script for Final Fantasy XI or 14, and we could find the game script for Final Fantasy VI or Final Fantasy VII. And which one do you think has more words in it, but less story?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, they're longer games, but why are they longer if you're not telling as engaging or as good of a story or even as in-depth of a story? It's because
they're trying to have as complicated as a story as you can have with voice acting in text. And that is a problem, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass.
In the old days, they only had so much room on their ROMs or whatever, so they had to keep everything very succinct, like very concise,
right,
and they needed to have exactly what they needed to say and nothing more in their text. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Throughout all the dialogue or any exposition or anything like that. They can have as much room as they can talk as much as they want in these other games, so we're sitting there learning all these new terms and everything like that, and your eyes are just glazing over because they just keep going and going, and then...
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of that's...
and there's less character involved, and it's...
Right, I wonder how much of that is just to keep you playing. Like, as an MMO, it's like, well, we'll give them little bites here and there, a little nibble of the story, and then you're super into it, and then you keep going for another couple months, kind of a thing.
And I think they're more concerned with lore, like with background,
than actual
than
story.
they might actually be with the main story.
Yeah, I think
that's a huge problem with FF11, and I think it's a problem, though not as bad with 14.
Yeah, it kind of bleeds over a little.
Especially.
Yeah, I think it does, yeah. And it's kind of tough because it's not a character. You're playing a character that is from this land, so a lot of the stuff is 13 styled at you, where it's like, oh yeah, this and this and this and this and this and this.
They take their time to
bring it
explain
in
more than 13.
No, they do, but it's I don't know. It's not as elementary, I suppose, as of an explanation kind of thing. It's just you learn it, you pick it up, you're like, oh yeah, I connect the dots kind of later, sort of thing. A lot more in this than I did, with 10 or something like that. It's I don't know. It's funky, but I think it's just MMO.
I think those are the two major problems with storytelling in 1.0 and 11.
Yeah.
2.0 is definitely done better. First off, they have voice acting throughout, a good 1/3 of the cutscenes. Maybe a little less than that, but...
Yeah. Not enough. There's never enough.
It's better, though.
It is.
It's just better. I
don't know. I feel like giving them voices and stuff like that kind of gives them a certain personality.
That's true.
That you can
do.
Create within your mind, so you can see, you can almost hear how they would be saying that line.
But yeah, if you're not going to do voice acting, keep it concise. Keep all your text real to the point, or you know what I mean.
Yeah, there's a lot of reading, and it's not that we don't want to read. It just gets boring after a while. I don't know.
Once again, I do say that with a grain of salt, because we did watch all these cutscenes in a row, and they aren't meant to be experienced that way.
Not quite, no. But I don't know. What we'll have to do is watch 2.0s in a row and see how we feel.
No, I don't think I'm going to do that.
Why not?
That's too much.
Oh boy,
that's way too much. So, if you're going to rank the story
of 1.0,
of 1.0,
against what?
Against the other games in the series.
Oh Jesus, dude. I don't even think it's fair to do that because we didn't actually play it.
Yeah, we didn't actually play the game, so we can't have an official ranking.
Yeah, I don't know. Where would you put it, since you're the one that asked?
I was asking you. I hadn't thought of it yet.
I'd probably put it above 3, and that's it.
So you think it's better than 3's story?
Actually, I don't think so.
I don't think it is either. I think it's below
3's is okay. It might be... Okay, it's above 1.
Hold on,
let's do 11.
I think it's better than 11's, and I think it's better than 1's.
Yeah? No, I don't know. 11's is... No, you're right. 11's isn't that great. It's kind of cool, but And 2.0 and 14 really follows it for a while. Like the first 20 hours, it's like, oh, a dark force, and then all this stuff that happens, and the beast tribes. It's really similar, but it gets way more awesome. Yeah, I'd probably put it down there above 1. And tied with 11s. I don't think I could one up them. It's like the same thing to me.
It felt less epic
Than 11?
than any of the other Final Fantasies. 11's is plenty epic. Just of how much time it takes.
No, that is epic.
And all the different places you have to go. It feels like it was all in Garlean airspace. And I don't know, it just felt small.
For the amount of time, especially.
Despite the fact that there's a whole empire after him, you don't really see the empire, which is something wrong with 2.0 so far. Also,
you don't see the true power of the empire.
Like the empire is just kind of like the shadow force with like one gate that I've gone into, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't know. They were able to show the power of it.
If the empire is such a force, like why can't I get like a bigger? Why can't I see them kind of
doing something? It's like the beginning of...
Like a wide shot. Why don't I have a wide shot of the Empire and then the other?
Right, I mean, FF12 did that in the beginning where you see
FF12 was good at that.
That had the same Empire feel to it, the overlooming power that's kind of grabbing at land, taking stuff over.
How many other Final Fantasy games have evil empires?
Let's see, 2 has it.
2 definitely has it.
3...
No.
I don't think 3 does.
Wait.
3's got
They got that big city, but I don't think they were evil.
No.
Let's see. 4 has it.
Yeah, 4 has it.
5...
5 doesn't.
Does not.
6...
6 has it.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, yeah, you're right, that one.
They come after
Kefka's place.
The first half of the game.
The first half, yeah. The second half has one guy.
7 has an evil corporation.
They're kind of empire-like.
8 has warring...
schools.
Not just schools. They have...
I know.
They have...
there's lands. There's
countries against each other, but I'm not sure if there's not really one country that's like super evil or... You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're kind of just douchebags.
Yeah.
I mean, 9 does.
9 does.
10 kind of... No, 10 has it just as much.
10 has an evil church.
10 has it just as much as... which one? One of them. I don't know. It's kind of like an evil... Oh, as 7, it's an evil organization kind of thing. A huge pillar in the community. Very important. And then
11 has the Beastmen. And that's kind of it, isn't it?
Yeah. And 12, obviously. And 13... I'd say 13 sort of has it. It has the idea of it, but they're not actually
13, they live within the society that is...
that is evil.
That is evil, yeah.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
So that's different. That's a different kind of thing. Never thought about that.
It's a one-off.
Yeah, and then 14, of course, Evil Empire.
Right.
So might as well just call Final Fantasy like the final Evil Empire
You
series.
think so?
Yeah.
Or like Star Wars. So that feels a lot of times.
Yeah. So I'd say 2 and 12 definitely have the most Star Wars in them.
Yeah, 14's got a decent amount, but not quite as much.
14's got some Star Wars in it, yeah.
But,
I agree.
I don't know. I thought it was alright, though. I mean, I kind of wish I would have played 1.0 when it came out. But obviously it's
and then have been super disappointed and never wanted to play it.
Well, and then when I got to A Realm Reborn...
Well, just think about how kind of bland the story was, and then think about how bland the gameplay is supposed to be.
That's true. It probably would have sucked.
Yeah.
I would have hated it. But I would have had an awesome character to bring over to A Realm Reborn.
You get to be one of those legacy players.
Yeah, and like a made man. I took my Omerta within the game, so... Solid.
All right. Well, I think that's going to end it for our 1.0 stuff. You want to get to questions?
Yeah, we got a few of those.
All right.
Yeah. All right, so we have another Skype question this week.
Oh.
Always exciting to not have to read.
Yeah, 385-204-3921. Give us a call.
Yes. All right, this one is from Krinital. Let's see what he has to say. He's been gone for a while, so this better be good.
Hey guys, Krinital here. I just wanted to add what's up with everything. Sorry I haven't been there for a while.
Should be.
They haven't been there for us.
How many games or any game have you completed with the skin of your teeth, such as beating a boss with only one guy and less than 10 points of health? Later.
Wow.
So, by the skin of my teeth. It's great, great Megadeth song.
Okay.
Well, you know, it's funny because he brings this up because he just barely finished up FF9.
Yeah.
And he had one guy left with, like, no HP, which is exactly how I finished FF9.
I finished...
No, FF3, that's the one he beat. Never mind. And he had one guy left with, like, barely any health. This is what he said.
Wow.
So, I don't know how.
FF3 is kind of a scary one.
Oh.
Unless you're cheating on your Android device.
I wasn't cheating.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not the thing, though. I did the double shields on what is his name, like Argus? The tank guy.
Okay.
I double shield, and then I did an aggro move, so he just attacked the dude with 2 shields, and, like, I just tore him apart. But yeah, anyway, the 3 wasn't a problem.
3 was a problem for me. I had to restart it a couple times. You know, I have, maybe not on this playthrough of any of the games, except for maybe FF9. Wait a minute. I think I only had Zidane alive.
Yeah, we both
On
only had one
FF9.
person alive for 9's ending.
So I'd say 9. And you know what? The time before that, when I played 9 a couple years ago, I only had my white mage left. I only had Dagger. Like, she was doing barely any damage, but was able to keep herself alive.
So did you beat
on that
9
last
before?
fight. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You did. We've talked about this multiple times now.
Well, I guess I just didn't
Just
care to remember.
Time people forget things, I guess.
I guess, yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that.
You don't need to know my game history. It's all right.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Well, I just have to remember 10 or 12 things, and I'm good.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I could probably get 10.
You fuck.
So, yeah, 9, we both had the same problem.
FF11, I believe that I was dead for both of those final fights. I think I died right at the end, and then some people cleaned up, and we beat the game, despite the fact that I was dead.
I think that was true. Yeah, I do remember that. We both died many times at the end.
By the skin of someone else's teeth.
Yeah.
FF11. Do I have any other
games
examples
kind
of that?
Thing? I don't know. I mean,
every other game that I beat pretty well. You know, Halo 1 on Legendary, on that final Jeep chase with everything shooting at you. That's rough.
Yeah, you take a lot of damage. Oh man, I'm trying to run through everything and think of what's given me problems. Obviously 9.
There's been a lot of dungeons in 14 where I've died, and then the rest of the party just kills them.
Yeah, that has happened a few times. It's really annoying because Joe's the healer. Thankfully, we'll be getting into 8-man dungeons where we'll have 2 healers, so if one of them happens to die, it's not the end of the world.
Hey, you know what? Maybe tanks should just learn to aggro, okay?
I remember one
of those. Or take
the
aggro off of the DPS or off of the white mage. That'd be great.
Well, yeah, there's that. But
because I can tink the tank alive. I can keep the tank alive, but I can't keep everybody alive and the tank. You know, it's different if like everybody had full health and then there was one attack that did a lot, and then I'd heal everybody up real quick with like a cure 3 or something like that. But when the tank doesn't take the aggro and there's people constantly being attacked by other shit, then it becomes unmanageable.
Yeah, I mean, some of that is kind of their fault at the same time, though. Well, no, not really. Because if I do an AoE attack and the person, the monster hasn't been aggroed yet, it'll come to me. If it hasn't been, if the tank doesn't taunt him or do whatever the move is, I have no idea, I haven't tanked. So it will come after you, but I don't know, when I see single attacks going out that are on a target that's not being targeted by the tank, then they kind of deserve it. I'm not saying you do that, I'm just saying I've done that, and I can't really get mad because we're attacking this one guy and I accidentally launch a fireball at another dude. I can't be like, why didn't you pull him? Because, we weren't attacking that guy. But at the same time, I've seen Dr. Roxo, one of the players that we play with, he pulls everything, no matter what I do. So if I fuck up and just decide to come in
There are some situations where I can't heal fast enough because some tank decided to take too much.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Taking
That's
way
happened.
too much?
Yeah.
Just the tip. But, I don't know. So it's iffy. But...
Or they would take a whole group and that would be barely manageable, and then it'd be like, I'm doing fine, and then they'd go for the next thing of enemies. You can't do both.
Yeah. Maybe they're.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say to that. I don't know. They just suck. But I don't think.
It could be me. Could be me.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I've got enough time that I might just become a white mage too, just on the side.
Jesus.
Then I would get into the
Jeez.
daily roulettes way faster.
Well, then
that's
you
for
should
sure.
do that while I'm catching up instead of complaining about me not being there.
I'm gonna do both. I'll double down. No, and I don't know. Most of the games, I'm kind of with you on that. I normally beat them pretty soundly as far as my whole gaming experience goes. I'm not bad at this. I've done enough of it that it's not a big deal. And I don't know, but definitely some of the Final Fantasies. 9 for sure. 4 for me was really rough. That final area was just sick. 5 was the same way. If I didn't have Guild Toss, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah, 5. Jesus, dude.
And
There was a couple times of me fighting X-Death with Bahamut over and over again before I tried doing the Guild Toss thing.
right.
And there were times where I swear I was close, but it just wasn't enough.
Well, it's nuts because those earlier games, they don't have... The end boss doesn't have a ton of health, but they do so much damage that it doesn't matter how little health they have. You're never going to hit them, kind of thing. Which is kind of different from nowadays, because now it's health scales like a motherfucker, and you've got 1,000,000 health, and it's kind of this onslaught battle style.
Now you've beat 14 2.0 in a way. You didn't beat the add-ons, which we'll get through.
Right.
But you beat the original 2.0 storyline.
Mm-hmm.
What game in the Final Fantasy series do you think has the hardest boss? And this is a question that I think when we do our wrap-up of the entire main series, we'll readdress. But what do you think right now?
The hardest end boss?
Hardest end boss of all the Final Fantasies in the main series?
It might be either X-Death or 9's. It's not 14's.
9 only took me 2 tries.
Yeah, but it was ridiculous.
It was. It took a lot of work.
He only took me 2 tries also, but I died to Kuja. I think I beat him on the 4th try.
Oh, actually, I think...
Oh, no, because what happened is I beat Kuja after 2 tries. He killed me once, and then the second battle I beat Kuja, and then I went to the final guy, lost to him, had to go back, fight Kuja again, and then I couldn't kill Kuja for some fucking reason. I just, it was this mental block, he just kept rocking my face. I lost to him 2 more times, then I finally beat Kuja, and then I beat the end boss. So I don't know, those 2 are a force, but they're dicks, and they just randomize their fucking attacks.
Yeah.
But
It's that 9 fight is hard, but I think it may just feel hard. I'm not sure if it
might
actually
just be
is hard.
all for show kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's really stressful, at the very least. I don't know, maybe that's kind of by design. But X-Death was sick. Without Guild Toss, I don't know how I could.
I think X-Death is probably the hardest so far. I mean, I'd be surprised if something in 14 is really that much harder for me.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's
shit in 14 that's hard, but...
Well, and there's also the really hard mode
that
primal
one
fights.
fucking dragon that always takes out half the map.
Yeah, that guy.
What is that guy?
I can't remember what he's called, but he's one of the dungeons. Played it again. We did fine on it the second time.
Jesus.
When you don't get hit, it's you're made. But it's tough because there's so much AoE, and then there's those little circle AoEs kind of thing. But no, I don't think 14's changed my opinion on that. I think X-Death for sure, and then probably, probably Nine's guy. What was it? Necron?
I think not 13, but Final Fantasy III's last area was also extremely hard.
Yeah, it was a toughie. All right, so let's get to another one here. This one is from Night Shadow with some X's in the middle. If you could do a crossover between an FF title and any other game, what would it be? Ooh. Oh, any other game. I think it'd be sweet to have like a survival horror RPG. So I'd say Resident Evil and Final Fantasy. That'd be really cool.
Just Final Fantasy?
Yeah, so Final Fantasy and any other game.
Okay. I would like maybe Bomberman.
Bomberman.
Like with Final Fantasy characters. That'd be interesting, I think.
Like Duck Hunt. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
You just get like a
You
party
do-
of hunters and then the duck, they come for you.
Like a version of Asteroids, just with like an airship, like the Ragnarok or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be
interesting.
Yeah. Cheap cash grab. I'm sure they're going to listen and find that.
Oh shit, they're gonna make a mobile game out of that.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Those fucks.
Doo-doo.
It'll have little Final Fantasy sound effects too.
Oh, this is an interesting question. I failed to think of one before. I think it'd be cool if like you could do Tony Hawk Pro Skater or something like that. You could get like different skins, Final Fantasy skins.
Yeah,
I think that'd be fun.
that'd be a cool crossover.
I think far better than Super Smash Bros. Would be Mortal Kombat in Final Fantasy.
Yeah, just fully.
I think that'd be way funner. Sorry, I hate Smash Bros. Guys. I know that's like an evil thing to say, but I much prefer, when it comes to my fighting games, I prefer Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool if they had like a graphic Dissidia sort of thing,
Yeah.
where you had fatalities and brutalities and all that shit.
Yeah. I think that'd be sweet.
That would be pretty awesome.
It would cast kind of a violent image on the series that maybe they don't want to go for, but like, imagine like playing Sephiroth and his fatality would be just chopping people up with that sword, you know? What I mean?
Or Omni Slash being clouds.
Oh,
kind of
only
thing.
like with blood and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty interesting.
I think the one I want most is Mortal Kombat and Final Fantasy.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, so let's check out another one here. This is from It's Schnitzel. And it's
Schnitzel?
new FF10 game. Now, don't get too excited, guys. He says, hopefully nobody read the title and got excited that maybe there was news that they missed. I openly admit that the newest FFU episode made me want to post this because I really enjoyed that episode. I'm not sure what that means. With Final Fantasy X being my favorite in the series, not to mention that I actually like 10-2, I think the possibility of a future game in that world would be pretty awesome. Would you guys want a sequel, prequel, or maybe a parallel story following one of the previous two games, but from a different character? He says he'd be totally stoked if they did a prequel following Auron, Jecht, and Braska from Auron's point of view. We already kind of got to the point of view from somebody who went through Spira that's new, so he doesn't think Jecht's POV would be, I don't know, it'd be kind of redundant, which I agree with. That's the reason why we talked
So
about
you
this
wouldn't
before.
want to make an FF10 prequel through Jet's perspective. Okay.
Right, so he doesn't want the same game.
All right.
But it'd be interesting to get a younger, more Yevon zealous Auron narrative. Of all the FF10 characters, he thinks he definitely has the most potential for a backstory, and the only other person old enough from 10 would be Kimahri. What would we want, and what type of battle/job system would we prefer? And he says it'd be sweet to play Blitzball with Jecht.
Okay.
Oh, Blitzball.
All right. So Waka's about to have a kid in FF10 too, I believe. So why don't we take a game from that kid's perspective?
Growing up with
Yeah.
Lulu as your mom and Waka as your dad.
Yeah. Why not? And he becomes a pro blitzball player. He wants to be just like his papa.
Yeah, oh, that could be cool.
I don't think that'd be cool. I was just spitballing.
Well, no, it'd be cool if that happened and
but you-
another... No, that isn't going to happen though, because there's no more sin. Yevon's
supposedly.
destroyed. Yeah, maybe.
Supposedly, That FF10 2.5 novel I have, I guess he does come back.
Perhaps we do this idea. We have their child, and he meets up with a few warrior-type characters who can do real damage, and they go and fight Sin. We just do 10 once again, with the maps a little destroyed, and totally new characters, no Jar Jar Binks guys, they went extinct, and I don't know. If I were to do that, I think I would probably keep the same battle system, but change the sphere grid to where you can't become the same character for everybody in the end.
Dude, I got it.
Have very distinct character lines.
I fucking got it.
What do you got?
You know, like Jaws Unleashed, or like the Godzilla games. You are Sin.
Oh my god.
And you have to destroy every machine in Spira. What do you say, dude?
So FF10-3, Sin's Return.
Yeah, Sin's Revenge or whatever.
Sin's Revenge, yeah.
Yeah.
You play as Sin.
Yes!
That would be pretty
like
sweet.
a destruction game with Sin is the thing.
Yeah, not even really a Final Fantasy by any means,
Yeah.
just some, carnage game.
How about like a Sim City, only it's Zanarkand, and Sim keeps attacking, and you have to I don't know,
Keep building up your city.
do a defense game almost while you're building up your city.
That'd be interesting too. And then Sin is the calamity that wrecks your population kind of a deal. That is interesting. I don't know. I think I kind of like the play as Sin, destroy stuff, really simple. Probably a mobile game. Probably what
Probably, yeah. Or like a DS game or some shit.
Something easy. Let's see what the other guys say. Jake says, maybe we will finally be able to see the sublimely magnificent Jek shot, Mark 1 and 2.
Mark 1 and 2. But
they don't actually exist. And, Squallman says that he thinks it'd be a great idea because he has a great love for the game. He doesn't think following Auron would be the best way, though. We already know how his story ends and he dies. If they were to make an FF10
spoiler alert!
prequel, that was during the 1,000 years of missing time that Sin destroyed the world, that would be cool.
So like another summoner?
No, 1,000 years when in between when Zanarkand was destroyed and when Sin is there. So start out in Zanarkand before Sin attacks and be a warrior, and once Sin does, you have to travel to the other cities, Bavel, Luca, yada yada, and try to stop Sin from destroying everything. But you'd have to fail, is what he says, and I don't know. And then he mentions the start of the Crusaders. That'd be kind of cool to see them in the early days.
Or that would be cool. I think maybe like a storyline involving Waka and his brother. So like the story of Waka's brother.
Yeah, that could be cool.
I think that'd be an interesting thing to go off of.
He's got to have James Arnold Taylor voicing him though. So he's the exact same.
Wow, what else could you do? Oh, there had to be someone who figured out that it takes a summoner to destroy Sin.
Yeah, we could see.
Like someone had to figure that out.
And then they also had to figure out that they
and then it's like 10 years later.
Yeah.
I thought it was gone.
You killed my son for that. Yeah. Yeah, they wouldn't know because at that time they'd be.
Unless someone told them. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. Let's see what Krenatol says. Oh, way too much. Sorry, man.
Yeah, he's talking about the FF10 2.5 novel. So
yeah, we'll get into that eventually once we get a translated version. I think somebody actually did translate it. That Pixel guy.
He said he got the first chapter or something.
Oh, first something.
Yeah.
We'll have to look into that. I remember it being really stupid though when I looked at. Like somebody kicks a blitz ball, but it's a bomb and it like blows up someone's head. Like I don't even know what the fuck. I swear to God, man, I'm not even fucking making this up. It was insanity, but we'll look into that. Hopefully they don't do something like that.
Well, I bought the book. It's all in Japanese, so I can hardly read it.
Yeah, that does make it difficult. I don't know. I don't know what you could do with that.
So, I think that's going to be it for this week, isn't it, Schweiss?
Well, we do have one more thing.
What do we have?
The question from us to you.
Oh, do we?
Which We didn't actually... Did we ask one last time?
Yeah, you asked, should I stay or should I go, you fucking dick?
Right, but why did I ask it last time when it's my... Whatever. Alright, so let's see what everybody said to that. But first, we have a nice little tune for you guys.
If you can find it.
Yes, if I can find my mouse, because my fucking cord is way too short. What the fuck is it?
I don't know.
Oh, why is it
19.
so mixed up?
19.
Alright. Last chance from... It's beautiful. That one always brings a tear to my eye.
Does it?
Not really, but it is pretty awesome. I will say that. All right, so last week ish, I don't remember when
It
I asked
was
this,
last week.
but I asked, should I stay or should I go? Which was essentially, should I wait for Joe in 14's storyline or should I charge ahead and kind of pave the way for our success?
Yeah, he decided ahead of time, which is why I thought this was a stupid question from us to you.
I didn't decide ahead of time. I waited. So I asked the question, and here's what the forum members said. Gabrant says, keep going. I'll be there for the ride. With Roxo, Banger, Mork, and some of the others who are on regularly, we should mostly have Team UFF ready to go. With most of us on all at the same time, we'll have no problem running the dungeons multiple times to help Joe out.
Thank you.
Baintram says, the only reason I've not been on 14, aside from not getting Heaven's Word, which he finally did, is because the game is a non-MMO. There's like no multiplayer. In 11, we had to group up because we would get stomped otherwise. In 14, half of the story missions and all of the class missions have to be solo. What the hell? Go for it. You can always jump in on the dungeons, so it's not like it makes that much of a difference anyways. Chocobo Chica remembers Drunk Rock Band. Not an answer.
I think as long as you're there to help Joe when he needs it, do what you want, man, says Shuri Elemente.
Right, and Gamma Stark says it's time to play the game. So I assume that means go for it. Shinru has your back. He says, wait for your fellow game podcast host. What would an FF character do in this situation? Titus would wait. Lightning wouldn't. Neither would Oron. If the mission was to do this and this and this by a certain date, Oron leaves. Because he's always saying, stay or come with us, we're leaving.
Stola says, go ahead, don't tell him, or play all the dungeons with him, tell him a month later.
It's too late, but that's kind of what I ended up doing, and I don't mind going back and redoing the dungeons, especially because I have been semi-screwed out of the cutscenes on some of them, and the more power we have, especially the power of a healer, the better chance they will wait for us. I mean, the thing is like we said earlier, we have 4 DPS. If they lose 1 DPS, it's not that big of a deal. If they lose 50% of their heals, that could put them in a little bit of a predicament. So hopefully we'll have enough clout within the dungeon to force our way to watch the cutscenes.
Clout.
Yeah. Well, you got a question from us to you this time?
I'm not sure if I do, I'll be honest.
What? You had all that time when I couldn't find the drop.
I have some questions in my head that are like a little later on sort of questions, which are kind of behind the scenes-y kind of stuff. So I don't really want to ask those right now. But we are, although it may be about 2 weeks away from now, I think it may be time to start asking if you beat Final Fantasy XIV 2.0, what'd you think of the game? So it's time for me to put up that favorite area of the forum where you guys can talk about Final Fantasy XIV 2.0, and so that we can pull from it for our review coming in the next couple of weeks. So
that we need to do for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, ask your I'm going to put a place for you guys to ask your questions, and in the questions from us to you, it will be, what did you think of 14, and what's your ranking?
Right, and for any of you guys who played it along with us, we will have to collaborate a time for us to record a collaborate review, just like 11. Hopefully not 4 parts, but who knows?
I don't mind 4 parts.
Yeah, but you got to realize we did 2 parts with the first part of the story, and then 2 parts with the second part of the story. It wasn't 4 parts at once.
That's true, but I feel like
if we did that, we'd have to review 2.0 after you beat it. But I don't know. We'll see how long it goes. Once we're talking about it, time flies. When we're talking to the players, the key elements to us not getting our asses kicked in the MMOs.
we'll see. We'll talk about how we're gonna structure the episodes, I think.
All right.
So yeah, what'd you think of FF14? And so we don't have any time for iTunes reviews this week, but we do want to thank you guys for those who have left iTunes reviews. Thank you very much. And if you haven't left an iTunes review, or even if you have, feel free to make an iTunes account and give us one.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
Let us know what you think of the show. And also, guys, use our phone line, 385-204-3921. Ask questions. Leave us messages.
Yeah, give us an intro.
Give us an intro. Give us a review. I don't give a shit. I
Yep.
just want to hear from you guys.
And of course, you can always find our episodes online at youtube.com/Ultima Final Fantasy. Follow me /sometimes Joe at UFF Podcast.
I always
Twitter.
put my name on the end of the post when you're talking.
Yeah,
to me.
when it's you.
Yeah.
We should do initials like JD.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
It's
weird.
one less letter.
That's true. Yeah, that is weird for me. You can like our page on Facebook, facebook.com/Ultima Final Fantasy. Support us on Patreon. $1 a month gets you the episodes pretty much once they're mixed. And also, any sort of extra little thing that we're doing, any sort of jingle, any kind of thing
There
like that.
may be a little something up there today.
Oh, that's right. There will be. So yeah, you guys will get insider access to stuff
It
we
may
haven't
sound
posted
like-
yet.
It may be something to do with that. I don't know.
But yeah, you will get those early, or exclusively, as it were, and you can follow us on Twitch, where I will be live streaming Final Fantasy, Walking Dead Season 2, whatever the hell I want, at twitch.tv/Ultima Final Fantasy. You can catch our episodes live there, and you can find all of this and everything else you could possibly want at ultimafinalfantasy.com.
All right. Well, this has been an interesting episode, I'd say. We've had a lot of technical problems, it looks
I
like.
can't see anything over there because of the fucking glare.
Oh, that's too bad. So I'm excited to play some more 14 next week, I think. I think I'm going to be all caught up, so...
Oh, you're not going to play over the weekend?
I might play late tonight.
What about your daily? You still have a level to do. You should probably tag that.
I should probably do that today.
Yeah. All right. Well, either way,
Okay.
we will see you guys 1 week from today.
Woohoo!
7 days.
Enjoy the grind.
This has been another production of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. The show was produced by Joseph DeGolier and Caleb Schweiss, with music and editing by Joseph DeGolier. Parodies
I almost
and
missed
clips
it.
from their respective authors.
I know.
You can get
Dude,
all
that
of
is
our
horrendous.
episodes
I can't
as
see
well as our
shit.
website is at ultimafinalfantasy.com. You can also contact us on Twitter at UFF Podcast, as well as our contact page on our website. Be sure to subscribe and review our podcast. Your reviews may get read on the show, and look forward to the next episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy podcast.
All right. Let's see what we got on there.
Now we're in the
All
level.
right.
That works. That works perfectly.
Andrew and Connor. No. Caleb nudes. That host Caleb, so damn hot. Thank you. Thank you. Your music and these caller questions not coming through to Twitch. Are you kidding me?
They're definitely coming through on here because I see them on the thing.
Oh.
So that doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't it go through on Twitch?
Well, is the computer...
I might have it in the wrong out slot. I don't know. No, that wouldn't make any sense.
That sucks. If that's the case, we're just going to be chilling there. Just waiting. Fuck it, whatever.
Alright, well, it's going through the thing. I'm like 90% sure. Here, we can actually...
They were very low?
Alright, so...
They were very low. Okay,
Computer volume's all the way up, I don't know.
I can believe the very low thing. Hold on. So we gave it 10. I gotta check the sound, make sure it's working. Sorry. At least for us. The recording end is the most important part. Sorry, Twitch guys. Yeah.
Huh.
So it's working.
Yeah, it's just not coming through to Twitch.
That's weird.
Yeah, they were coming through the headphones just fine.
Yeah, this time.
Yeah, good point.
Let's see. I think the FF MMO scene suffers from having different worlds. Which game? Let's see. Yeah, I almost missed it. Joe, play tonight. Sorry. You know what? You know what it's time for, Gabranth? Star Wars is coming out, and we got 3 weeks to watch 6 movies. And so today is going to be kind of a horrible day because we got to watch Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. And then next week it'll be Revenge of the Sith and Star Wars. And the week after that it'll be Empire and Jedi. And then I'll be ready for for episode 7. So,
Yeah?
yeah.
I should probably rewatch them again, too. It's been a long time.
Yeah. You gonna join us? Still not sure?
I don't know yet.
You waiting on baby mama?
No.
No? Okay. I bet you are. He's a liar. Look at that. Look at him lying over there.
Yeah. Well, alright, well, we'll see you guys next time.
Alright. Where's Crinitel? It's usually on.
Dude.